welcome to this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang.
I'm at the SiriusXM studios with Tony, Grammy, and Emmy-winning Broadway legend André and Seth Rudetsky for the taping of Seth Speaks Broadway.
So 73, you got your Tony Award. You moved, and I loved your speech, it was very moving. You moved to New York City, what year?
1973.
1973. That was very, Seaside. My city. Very 70s, those years.
Yeah. Did you get it? 73, 73?
Oh, wait. I didn't get it.
Come on, wake up.
First of all, I am awake. Second of all, wait a minute. You moved in 73, and it wasn't until you were 73 that you won the Tony Award?
Yes.
Oh, girl, I love that. Okay, you moved, I want to say you were Baltimore's pride, right?
I am now.
Oh.
They chased me out of Baltimore, but I said, you know what? There's coming a day when you're going to say, native son. And that was June 9th, 2019.
Okay, well, there's so much talk about. Here's the thing, and this is why this is so moving to me. Your tenacity for staying in the business, the fact that you are a black man in the business, and it's hard to be black in the world. It's
come on.
hard to be black on Broadway. There's maybe 6 roles, and to be a black gay man, my head's coming off. Why the fabulous attitude, always spreading sort of wisdom and joy and peace? Were you like a hyper crazy person like me and you just became like this 10 years ago?
No, not at all. Not hyper, not crazy. As a matter of fact, you know I move monstrously slowly.
Yes.
Right, I take my time. Mm-hmm. I'm not in a hurry. Because I'm always thinking about what my purpose is and what my soul is asking me to do in order not to leave me for a higher love.
In order not to leave me, your soul
my soul, yes.
Let me just say, by the way, as people are listening, because I always assume everybody knows everything. So André, of course, came to New York. We're talking about the Wiz. We're talking about Ain't Misbehavin. We're talking about the Full Monty and Tony Award for Hadestown. So the career spanned a million decades. But when you say you've always had this attitude, where is that from? Is that genetic, or is that your parents instilled it in you? Where did you get this deep wisdom and peace?
When I was evicted from my mother's womb.
By the way, people take that in. That's how André says when I was born. Go.
Imprinted on me was my purpose, which was to manifest the deferred dreams of my parents, who wanted to entertain, but they were born around the turn of the 20th century.
Whoa.
And it was like, oh no, we just barely shuffled off the plantation, and you want to shuffle your way through life? That's not happening. So at conception, all of that X and Y chromosome juice was just put into me. And I came out saying, Sammy Davis Jr., Sammy Davis Jr.
You knew that was your destiny to be.
Yeah.
So your parents were both Mama Rose. You had Mama and Papa Rose?
Yeah, Mama wanted to dance and Papa wanted to sing.
And you got both skills.
Got them both. When I dance, I'm using my mother's feet. When I sing, I'm using my daddy's voice.
Speaking of voice, I'm going to play you so many things I want to talk to you about. I'm going to play this one duet that I'm so obsessed with, which is mainly Nell, but I'm obsessed with your reactions. This is I Can't Give You Anything But Love from Ain't Misbehavin. I'll break your arm, you'll break my arm. Okay, so what was it like singing opposite Nell Carter? I can't even imagine what that was like.
The only comparison is a great performance I did for PBS when I sang opposite Patti LaBelle.
Wow.
There were similar experiences.
In terms of a trumpet coming at you.
A trumpet coming at me and returning it with a saxophone. And they were like, no, you didn't. And I was like, yes, I did.
What has the GMHC meant to you?
Consciousness. Because in 1979, I was in London doing Ain't Misbehavin. Friends of mine were in New York dying from having caught a cold, and no one could figure it out. I returned in 1980 to do the first national tour with the original company of Ain't Misbehavin. And 2 years after that, GMHC was initiated.
That's 82?
2. Larry Kramer, Screaming and Yelling,
Yeah.
Dr. Fauci, Ronald Reagan, etc. So it exploded in, well, at least my consciousness, something's going on, and although we don't know what it is, everybody is affected by it. Some of us are infected by it. And then later I learned I was one of those, infected.
By the way, I've never.
So-
You look amazing. Just if people want to know,
yeah,
what a
thank you.
legacy. When do you think you were infected? When did you find out you were infected?
1980,
You think you were infected in 1980?
yes, we were doing the national tour of Ain't Misbehavin. I was in Los Angeles, and I was shaving. And you know, when you shave, you're in the mirror. You got to pull the leather to get the clean shave and all
The
that.
leather is your skin. Okay.
And I noticed that my lymph glands, which are symmetrical in the body, were not only slightly swollen, but slightly tender.
Wow.
And I thought, what's going on here? So after a series of visits to doctors who understandably had no idea what was going on,
1980s.
but each
Way
wanted
early.
to do an
Biopsy?
biopsy of one of my lymph glands. I said, no, you don't know what's going on and you want to cut me? That is not going to happen.
You're a singer, man. Yeah.
So it wasn't until 83, 84, when people started using the term GRID, G-R-I-D,
Gay-related
gay-related
immunodeficiency.
immunodeficiency.
Of course, I remember.
So at least we had an acronym for it.
And I love that it was called gay-related because it was
Right, because
so
it has to
silly
be,
now.
right?
Yeah.
The clinical, so in retrospect, I knew, oh, those are my antibodies kicking butt. Trying to remove the foreign.
You knew this
the
in
foreigner.
83, or now you're saying even in retrospect now, but you're saying in
No,
83?
I knew it in 83.
Wow.
As soon as it started talking about a virus, I thought,
my
oh,
God.
that was the antibodies,
Yeah.
the soldiers in me saying, get the fuck out of here, virus,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. It wasn't until 1991 that I got a clinical diagnosis. And
Okay.
here I
People
am.
that were infected in 1980, as you were saying, I mean, it literally was a death sentence. Within, I just was reading my friend Maria Dia posted 5 weeks later, her friend died. It's unbelievable you're infected in 1980. You look amazing. I know you're going to attribute it to a higher power, but what is the deal, man? I mean, you are a survivor.
I am a survivor, but I never bought into the idea that whatever this foreign invasion was going to kill me, because I decided, remember that eviction from my mother's womb?
Yes.
I decided that I was going to live at least as long as Methuselah.
I mean, did you tell people? What was the deal?
I told the people who constituted my extended family.
Of course.
And almost in every occasion when I said to a colleague, I have HIV, the colleague would burst into tears and collapse into my arms. And I thought, what's wrong with this picture? I'm not crying. I'm not collapsing. I'm going to stop telling people because they're not ready for it.
Yeah.
They think that the death tolls are happening for me. And I would explain to them, some of them understand now, but I would explain to them, listen, I've had a conversation with death. We had tea, right? And I said, don't come for me. I'm not ready. Methuselah, remember him?
I remember her.
969 years.
900 and who?
69. It's a palindrome, right? 969, 969.
Right, backwards and forwards.
Right. So I said, you got to come back in what? That was 1980. I said, you got to come back in 930 years. I am a leader. That's why I'm getting this award on February 6th. Now,
Yes, yes.
the award is not because I am a leader, and the award is not because I am a survivor. The award is because I am civic-minded.
You are civic-minded.
Right.
I agree.
So there are many people who have survived, right? And there are people who have survived longer than I. I've survived 45 years living with HIV. And now my viral load is undetected.
Unbelievable.
I'm not infectious. And,
Thank you, medical community, by the way.
you know,
So the award from GMHC is called what?
the Howard Ashman Award. Because Howard Ashman, one of our great composers,
No, lyricists.
well, he composed lyrics.
Okay, I'll do that.
Don't
Lyricist
do
and
that.
director. Don't challenge me.
Okay. Lyricist, yes. But he,
Creator.
creator.
Yeah.
How's that?
I agree with that. He was brilliant.
Right. He died of complications of AIDS in 1991.
Yeah.
My life partner of 17 years died in 1992. So even without my being aware of it, then Howard and I were connected.
People don't know Howard Ashman, of course. Little Shop of Horrors. I mean, talk about a life cut down too
Beauty
early.
and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. Reminds me, and Little Mermaid reminds me of Michael Bennett, this genius that was cut down so early we never got to see the full.
Exactly, exactly. So that was my battle, right?
What?
To not have my genius cut
Yes.
down early.
I agree. And it worked. So okay,
And by the way, I believe everyone has genius.
I do too.
Okay?
It has to be exposed.
Right. So I'm not saying André de Shields is a genius.
I know you're
like
not.
Einstein. Everyone has genius.
They do. It's like everyone has a story. They do, but it has to be nurtured and exposed. You have to be open to it. I completely agree, Andre.
Okay.
But by the way, you have more than others. Okay, so here it is. So it's February 6th is this award at the. Now, can people come see this award? Like, what's the dealio? with it?
Yes, it's at Joe's Pub.
Fabulous.
Right.
Down to Public Theater.
Yes, indeed. And lots of folks have already bought tickets.
And lots of folks, by the way, are performing. I'm just going to name drop some of my favorites. One of the most funniest people ever, Julie Halston. You don't understand how funny she is. And then one of the most fabulous new singers on Broadway, and Hubba Hubba, Claiborne Elder, who just did my show. Everyone, oh my God, and Javier Munoz. And of course,
Yeah, Javier is going to present the award to me.
another person.
Right. And Claiborne
Yes, yes.
and I worked with the New Jersey
Performing Arts Center?
Performing Arts Center Symphony Orchestra.
Nice, nice.
And he was Prometheus and I was Zeus.
Of course, every role you have is either Zeus or Hades.
Right.
I can't with the drama. Okay, so look, this was my section about GMHC. I have to bring you back for a segment 2 just to do more showbiz stuff. So the GMHC, and by the way, Mark Shaman, one of the most hilarious and brilliant composers, is going to be there, and lyricist, co-lyricist. So, oh my God, and Crystal Monet. Okay, so we are back with André de Shields, who, as I said, is getting honored by the GMHC. You get tickets at gmhc.org. And, you know, it does remind me, Andre, of when I remember seeing Pat of the Pony a couple years ago, and I was like, wow, I'm alive, and I get to see this Broadway legend in front of me. That's what I feel like people feel when they see you. They get to see a legend of Broadway. You began with The Wiz in the 70s, and let me just say, people don't understand how groundbreaking The Wiz was. It wasn't Pearl Bailey taking over in Hello Dolly, where a hit show then, quote-unquote, became black. It was a black show from the beginning. Audiences on Broadway are really 99% white. To this day, they're 99% white. So the risk that was involved by doing a black show on Broadway, Andre, what did you think when you got the role of The Wiz? Did you think, A, I love this role, but B, good luck in the show ever running? What did you think, go?
Well, the last time I did the Grand Jeté is when I learned that I was going to do the role of the Wiz. Do you remember in the Harlequin Studios?
Of course I remember Hollywood Studios.
So
46th Street.
that's where I was told that I was going to be the Wiz. And I ran down the stairs and I did Grand Jetés down the street.
Wait a minute, full split?
Full.
I'm so impressed. Keep going.
Today I would do it petit.
Maybe just a passe parallel.
Right.
All right, continue. So you did the grunge days down the street. Oh, I love that
Yeah,
image.
yeah.
And then did you think, God, this is a big risk. It's an all-black show, which really they weren't happening.
I did not think it was a risk. I knew it was time because Broadway had always appeared like an inhospitable terrain for black people.
Yeah.
And I felt that I had been chosen to, along with the other members of the company, to make that change.
Well, let me go back for a second because I want to say, did you do hair?
Yes, not on Broadway. I did hair in Chicago.
With Darius DeHaas. Darius DeHaas, wasn't his mom in it or his father?
Yeah, Geraldine DeHaas.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So there
Charlotte Crossley, whom you might know.
And I feel like,
Joe Mantegna.
Oh my God. See, when I had it started on Broadway as a little kid, Meatloaf was in it. But the point is, it was becoming more. Broadway was becoming more hospitable in the sense because Melba Moore took over the role, of what's her name, Sheila.
Yeah.
So it's becoming more hospitable, but it still wasn't hospitable.
No,
so
it
you
wasn't
knew that you were going to be one of those people that was going to lead it, along with a teenage Stephanie Mills. How nervous was she playing the role of Dorothy, getting her first leading role on Broadway?
I think she might have been nervous, but she was always in the embrace of her family, a Christian family from Brooklyn. And she sang in the choir in her church. So she always had the warmth and the support and the embrace of her family. As a matter of fact, Stephanie, when she would arrive at the theater, to get to her dressing room, she had to pass mine. And when her mother would hold her hand and walk by my dressing room, she would hold her hand with one hand and then the other hand put it over her eyes. Because I was an adult.
Period.
No, not just period.
Were you standing?
But I certainly exuded certain
sensuality.
Sexuality and all that sort of stuff.
You sure did.
But she was innocent. She was 15 years old.
No, speaking of exuding sensuality, we had a reunion of The Wiz not that many years ago. André appeared on Broadway, raising money for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, wearing his Wiz costume. And let me just say, it was the original costume. You're still a size 0. I'm infuriated. Not cool. I want to try the song from The Wiz. We've never done this together before. I said to André, I'll take it.
Which one?
So You Wanted to Meet the Wizard.
Ooh.
Do you remember
I have to say.
Okay, so I'm here with André the Shields. We're going to do the song from The Wiz. I, of course, said, oh my God, you did this back in the 70s. Let me take it down a half step. And the Biatch looked at me and said, original Kate. Are you ready?
Ready.
Here we go.
Too fast. Come on. Samba. Ba ding bang boom ching gang boom gang gang ba bing gang gang gang.
I'm mesmerized. 2,
Okay, come on.
3, 4.
Hey, yeah. So you wanted to meet the wizard. Let me tell you that you come to the right place. Shall I make you a frog or a lizard? Strange expression on your face if the way I come on is frightening. That's the way I felt my coming on today. Have you ever been kissed by lightning? Let me tell you that will make it go away. I fly and the magic of my power takes me higher. Turn into fire. In the warmness of the fire, I feel fine. Just keep your eyes open, and the magic you will see. It will whistle on the wind as it emanates from me. It's a strong and true vibration. You can feel it on your skin. So come and take my hand, and we will dance. Up on the wind, away, the wizard.
Okay, come on, man. Original key, original staging. Andre, not even
An
warmed up.
original falsetto riff.
Yes, I was gonna say. What's your next big role?
Well, you know, I just finished playing Ben Lomond in Death of a Salesman.
I know. Here's the thing. I don't discuss plays. I only care about musicals. Now, what do
Okay,
you
but
got?
that's going to get me my second Tony.
Andre Shields literally left Hadestown, immediately went into the star-studded, critically acclaimed Death of a Salesman. I can't with your career. You still got it. So what? How about Herbie and Gypsy? Opposite Lilia's, because I want Lilia's to play Mama Rose.
No, I want to play Mama Rose.
By the way, that's a great idea.
Yes, it is a great idea.
Because you had a Mama Rose. Wow, because that's the new. I really want to kind of gender bend everything from now on.
Yeah, it's necessary.
So wait, so Mama Rose is the goal. What else?
Well, there's some things I've let go of. Like playing The King and The King and I.
Why would you let go of that? That's a part you can play forever.
Yeah, but now that politics are so
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
self-identifiable,
Okay.
but I think it would be a great idea to do an African, Asian King and I.
Do it. But wait.
So,
Do it for one night. Who do you want to be your Mrs. Anna? Start the casting now. Eva?
Eva Noblezada.
Yes.
Yes.
See, this is why I produce things.
Exactly.
Okay, we're doing it. So Eva's going to be Mrs. Anna. You're going to be the king. And then we need to do Lunta. Okay, guys, you're literally listening to a pitch session right now.
Right.
So end of the story is Andre the Shields, February 6th, Gambit's Health Crisis, just one of your many, many awards. You go to gmhc.org.
Org, right? Because all of this, that's why I spoke against the award in the beginning. All of this is to raise funds for gay men's health crisis. Mm-hmm. So even if I weren't getting an award, I would be there, civic-minded, saying, come on, folks, dig deep, give it up, because this organization has been around for longer than you can even remember, and is still doing the work.
Yeah. It's the counseling, it's the food, it's anything that people with HIV and AIDS, which I know a lot of people think, oh, it's manageable. People are still dying, man, and people.
And there are 21 states of the United Plantation of States that still criminalize HIV. So that's what we're working against. That's why I say civic-minded. We have to educate so many people about how far we haven't come so that we can go even further.
How do they criminalize HIV?
Well, the idea is that I'm HIV positive and I knowingly have unprotected sex with someone a third my age. So not only am I a predator, but I'm also intending to murder this person. So I need to be stopped.
Oh, wow. And
21 states.
One of the albums that meant the most to me growing up was Ain't Misbehavin'. I do it all by grade. I remember exactly what grade I was in. And I listened to this all the time. It was a 2-record set, which already was incredible. I want you to recreate your song from Ain't Misbehavin'. And Andre would like people to know if there's anybody under 18 listening, there are some perhaps drug references, perhaps something a little more raunchy. So close your ears. But I was under 18 and I loved it, and I'm still here.
I dreamed about a reefer 5 feet long, a mite immense, but not too strong. You behind, but not for long. If you're a viper, I'm the king of everything. I got to get high before bust your conga on peppermint candy. Then you know your brown body is sand. You don't give a dime if you don't pay rent. 'Cause the sky is high, and so am I. And every hour I might find,
Okay, the breath control, the key. I can't tell you how much I love that ending. I listen to it all the time. If I oh, such a great ending. André the Shield, you still got it. Again, people, original key. GMHC.org to see more of this brilliant man, and who knows what his next Broadway show will be, but I know it's going to be fabulous. Thank you, André.
thank you.
Original key. Fuck. You and Ken. God, I mean, the brilliance. Okay, you gotta give me a hug.
pictures in here?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, we'd love a photo of the two of you.
Yeah, let me coming from you, girl.
Woo.
Pass with Lia Chang. Thank you for joining me for this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang. Until next time.